The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority (PURA) has announced the closure of 12 oil marketing petrol companies in the Gambia with immediate effect. The killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi was planned and perpetrated by Saudi officials, the UN Special Rapporteur said. Former Senegalese President Abdoulaye Wade arrived in Senegal yesterday and called for a boycott of the February 24th presidential election. These are the headlines, more coming on your way on the wall today.
It's 8:30 p.m. in Istanbul, 9:30 a.m. in Washington State, 7:30 GMT here in the Gambia. You're watching the World Today afternoon bulletin. We now take a look at our first story. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority (PURA) has announced the closure of 12 oil marketing petrol companies in the Gambia with immediate effect. The affected stations failed to comply with the legal requirements to obtain license to ensure their continuity. Addressing journalists this morning, PURA Director General Ansumana said the closed companies failed to regularize their situation before the January 31st deadline. Our reporter Al-Hassan Sisi attended the press briefing and files in this report.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority (PURA) has closed some oil marketing companies in the Gambia which failed to comply on the legal requirements to obtain license to ensure their continuity. The Director General of PURA, Ansumana Sane, told pressmen this morning that since 2017, numerous press releases have been issued by both Ministry of Petroleum and Energy and PURA to inform the general public, most especially actors within the downstream petroleum sector, on the requirement to obtain authorization pursuant to the provision of the Act. He said they have organized several stakeholder engagements with the current operations ranging from importers, oil marketing companies to bulk transporters. He added on the 29th January 2019, Ministry of Petroleum and Energy issued a final press release to remind all the service stations the legal requirements to obtain license with a deadline of 31st January 2019. Continuing, he emphasized PURA have engaged service stations in many forms to regularize their license status or risks being shut down. The defaulted companies are Dembadu, Halal Oil, Marigo Oil, Kamanka Oil, Sandali Oil, Kairawan Bridge, Sam Petroleum Station, Drame Oil, Diba Oil, Kosata Oil, Jalo Oil, and Alaji Mamudu Yaya Jalo.
However, sometime this year, January 2019, the sector ministry, that is the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, issues a final press release to remind all participants in this sector, especially the service stations, of the legal requirement to obtain license to ensure their continued operations. This press release gave a deadline of 31st January 2019 for all to come in. The press release stated that failure of which will lead to closure of the non-compliance stations. So as of this morning, on the 8th, the following service stations have been ordered to suspend their operations until they regularize their licensing status with PURA. This is pursuant to Section 6, Subsection 2 of the Petroleum Products Act 2016. As this prohibits a person from petroleum product supply operations without obtaining a license under the Act. So as I speak to you, our monitors are going around. They are on their way to the stations that were served the notice to monitor whether they are operating, and if they are operating, they will be shut down. So far, we have, so they will be shut down until they regularize their status. These are Dembadu, Halal Oil, Marigo Oil, Kananka Oil, San Sandale Oil, Kairawan Bridge, Sam Petroleum Station, Drame Oil, Diba Oil, Jalo Oil, and Alhaji Momodu Yaya Chalo.
The Director of Energy and Water, Momodu Lamin Sompo Sise, said the closure of the service stations will not result to consumer burden on buying fuel, as most of the closed service stations are small scale and owned by individuals. He further stressed they are open in terms of any service stations that wants to regularize its status. Pura urges all non-licensed retail petroleum stations to regularize their status in order to operate legally in the petroleum sector.
So there would not be any major impact in terms of consumers being able to purchase fuel throughout the Gambia. Also, out of these 9, if you look at the country, we have about 122 petrol stations. So really, we're talking less than 10% are being shut down. So the impact is very minimal for the average Gambian consumer. But nonetheless, we will be monitoring for the next week to see if there are any major disruptions. And also, I think in terms of licensing, we are open for those who want to regularize their status the following week to come in and get their papers, their permits from the different government agencies so that we can issue them the necessary license.
Section 5, subsection 4G of the enactment of petroleum products in December 2016 gives Bureau the regulatory mandate over the sector to receive, evaluate, and process all applications for the granting, renewal, assignment, suspension, or revocation of license on accordance with the Act and regulations made under it and other applicable laws. Reporting for iAfrica TV, I am Alhassan Sip.
Africa should quicken establishing its own institutions in order to withstand US-style unilateralism and preserve its place on the world stage, African Union, AU officials said. Chairman of the AU Commission Musa Faki Mohammed said in a speech that the rise of unilateralism as exemplified by the US under President Donald Trump left African countries no alternative but to close ranks. Musa made the opening speech of the 34th session of the AU Executive Council, a meeting of foreign ministers in which the agenda was set for an upcoming AU Leaders Summit to be held on Sunday. Musa further stressed that the continent needed to accelerate activities towards establishing common institutions such as African Monetary Fund and the African Central Bank so as to withstand emerging global conditions in terms of economy and trade. A high-level government retreat for permanent secretaries and planners kicks off today at the Tendaba camp in Kiang. The top-level convergence to be held from 8 to the 10th February 2019 is being convened to build a stronger and more strategic work relationships within the senior leadership of the civil service. It is being organized by the Office of the Secretary and the head of the civil service. During the 3-day exercise, ministries, departments, and agencies will be sharing presentations on their activities from 2018, as well as their plans for the current year 2019. Accordingly, the permanent secretaries and planners retreat is designed to provide a platform for the MDA to report on their progress towards the NDP as well as the challenges. The killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the kingdom's Istanbul consulate was planned and perpetrated by Saudi officials, the UN Special Rapporteur said. Agnes Kalama recently visited Turkey with a team of experts on an international inquiry into Khashoggi's murder. Evidence collected during my mission to Turkey shows prima facie case that Mr. Khashoggi was the victim of a brutal and premeditated killing planned and perpetrated by officials of the state of Saudi Arabia, Kalamar was quoted as saying in a statement. Khashoggi, a contributor to the Washington Post, was killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd. While viewers coming up after the break, former Senegalese President Abdoulaye Wade arrived in Senegal yesterday and called for a boycott of the February 24th presidential election.
Banjul breweries, Wolkola nata, nananga bindu, Kukuto nata, nananga bindu, Wolkola nata, nananga bindu, Kukuto nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Bam na chima ganda, siwa kuyaram, jokla chawarte, defa sayara. Banjul breweries in the night and the chilling. Wolkola, kola, Wolkola, kola, Wolkola. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day. Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata, Wolkola nata the day.
Proudly brought to you by Banjul Breweries.
Welcome back. We remind you that you're watching the World Today Evening Bulletin. Let's now take a look at the remaining stories. The government of the Central African Republic and armed groups finalized the signing of the Global Peace Agreement in a ceremony in the capital Bangui. Representatives of 14 armed groups active in the Central African Republic arrived from Khartoum to finalize the signing of the peace agreement. President Faustin Todorus said, in ensuring respect for the people's will, I will pledge to fully support the process of dialogue to achieve a lasting peace. UN Special Representative Parfait Onanga said, you have undoubtedly returned to Bangui a single people, stronger and determined together to meet the challenges of a common destiny. For his part, the President of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki Mohamed, said signing in the Bangui reaffirmed the independence, the sovereignty of the CAR, but also to call to witness the sovereign people of the CAR. The Central African Republic descended into violence in 2012 with the appearance of Muslim rebel groups gathered in coalition called Seleka. Youth vendors at the local Serekunda market, famously called Black Market, have accused the anti-crime unit of the Gambia Police Force of continuous harassment, labeling them as thieves, making life unbearable for them. The frustrated youth called on government to address the situation before it gets out of hands. Our reporter Saja Sambo visited the market and now files in this report.
In the Gambia, the unemployment rate has skyrocketed over the years from 9.40% in 2016 to 9.5% in 2017, the highest ever recorded since 1991. Over 60% of each year's graduates from the youth folk are in the streets searching for a decent job, whilst others left for the irregular migration to Europe in search for a better living. The government, on the other hand, have asked citizens to be job creators and not job seekers, a statement which have forced many of the youth generation to venture into self-employment business at the Serekunda black market, where they buy and resell phones, laptops, and other accessories. But of recent, the black market has not been a pleasant breeding place for the Gambian youths who are on daily basis going to the market to find a living. They complained of being harassed, arrested, detained, and sometimes jailed by the anti-crime security unit for crimes they never committed. Falu Kanji, who spoke on behalf of the youths at the black market, said, even whereby the anti-crime unit know the criminals, yet they rush to the black market anytime they are tipped off of any break and entry.
But jenak jaay tam dañ ci am problem tuuti because borom sobi anytime suñ breaké sen sobi rek gaay they run into the black market people gaay ñun ñoo nekk di break sen sobi but ñun soñu xolé bro nga xamna ñun nekkuñ isacha ñun dañ dé over hustle wokat lañ. Harassment buñ dé am mo nekk anti crime anytime gaay dégg na break nañ sob rek sim black market bi lañ dé daw ci street dañu dé over sonal because gaay dañ dé wax né ñu nekk ci sob bi ñu nekk ci black market bi ñoo nekk di break sob ci ta anti crime ñom sen bopa gaay xam nañ sacha yépp but the main thing is gars yi dañ ñëw téye innocent people yi ñoo dee gën a suffer si stopping break sajakat yi gars ñu ngi over feel free gars ñu ngi over dunda soo gisee sajakat nga xam ne sajakat la tey da ngaa taxaw fi nga gis sajakat mu ñëw dugal loxo sa poos doo mun dara si moom but innocent people yi ñoo nekk di sona si dëkk bi fii nii rek loolu moo nekk problème black market nekkut place di saja black market is a hustling field some people they came to hustle and they are hustling to gain something other people they are whatever they are they just came here to do what they want but we cannot control them ñun duñ sajakat te ba pare black market du place di sajakat fu ñuy téye ragalu ñoo dem fenn because suñ fuun la dañ génne suñ own baaxa boo xamante ne dañ ko hustle ñu jënd ko so ñun ragaluñ ñu ne lii alali saja la dañ ko overligé anti crime dañ ñu ne over
ngir yàlla boy ngir yàlla
dañ over harass
boy
anti crime
bàyyi leen ñu boy suñ société du baax
de ñun citizen la dañ war a live so free suñ biir dëkk boy ñun duñ saja boy
balaa ma any country boo dem mu ngi fa man dama dem Sénégal laa la wax dama dem Sénégal laa la wax waxuma la sa si biir comme si biir lifin de si kaw tali bi laa la wax boy yaa ngi taxaw ñu ngi deal ñu ngi free balaa ma dëkk boo dem mu ngi fa man dama dee taxaw fi laa la billaay wala talaay du ma la fenal de ma gis daat boo xam ne borom kër la mu ñëw mu ne ma ne billaay dama am soxla jaay jëndal ma suma lii nii lii laa ko jaay dama am soxla nii billaay wala talaay du jeex boy.
In the Gambia, the unemployment rate has skyrocketed over the years from 9.40% in 2016 to 9.5% in 2017, the highest ever recorded since 1991. Over 60% of each year's graduates from the youth folk are in the streets searching for a decent job, whilst others left for the irregular migration to Europe in search for a better living. The government, on the other hand, have asked citizens to be job creators and not job seekers, a statement which have forced many of the youth generation to venture into self-employment business at the Serikunda black market, where they buy and resell phones, laptops, and other accessories. But of recent, the black market has not been a pleasant breeding place for the Gambian youths who are on daily basis going to the market to find a living. They complain of being harassed, arrested, detained, and sometimes jailed by the anti-crime security unit for crimes they never committed. Falu Kanji, who spoke on behalf of the youths at the black market, said, even whereby the anti-crime unit know the criminals, yet they rush to the black market anytime they are tipped off of any break and entry. Keep in Falu. Ibu Job, another frustrated youth in the market by the attitude of the police, said the police who should have protected the lives and property of the people are now the ones asking for money in exchange of their freedom.
Waaye xam nga leen moo ko yàq sàcc yi ñoo ñu sonal sàcc yi ñoo xam ne dañuy ñëw ci marché bi guddi di sàcc ak police yi ñëw di ñu di sob yenn saa nga yore sa mobile sax ñu këf ko yóbbu ko ci police bi ne la fayal nangam sangam loolu yëpp daf ñu dee sonal ci marché bi te dafa bëri boo yoo xam ne duñ fi liggéeyee dañuy ñëw fekk marché bi nit ñi di liggéey ñu ñëw yàqal leen mooy booy yi nga xam ne dañuy jaay tay si koñ bi wala ñuy def non sens si koñ bi ñëw di tilimal deru marché bi waaye fii ñu fi ñëw di liggéey rek moo ñu fi tafa ñëw moo ñu fi indi waaw loolu la ñuy foog parce que yow da ngay jënd sa mobile da ngay gis ku jënd indi am soxla ci këram ñëw si marché bi jaay mobile am soxla am lay am day ñàkk dépense wala mu am problème mu moto wala problème mu paas wala problème mu dara ñëw ci marché bi jaay mobile am yow nga jënd ko yow police bi jóge fële ñëw jël si mobile bi si yow na la léegi jox ma $500 jox ma $1000 foo waat loolu du right loolu du yoon.
The youths are frustrated with the frequent arrests from the anti-crime unit security and are threatening to fight back if authorities fail to address the crunchy situation. According to the youths, they are high school graduates, but due to the lack of job availability in the country, that forced them to stand along the market side to make a living. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, I am Sajo Sambu.
Former Senegalese President Abdoulaye Wade arrived in Senegal on Thursday calling for a boycott of the February 24th presidential election without much resonance. The former head of state from 2000 to 2012, who lives in France, arrived in the afternoon in a private jet after 2 years of absence. In a video broadcast, he called on the population to oppose the holding of a fully fabricated election, denouncing the invalidation of the candidacies of the two main potential rivals of Macky Sall, his son Karim and the deposed mayor of Dakar, Halifa Sall, both struck by judicial sentences. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you in the World Today Afternoon Bulletin. For more on these and other stories, log on to our website, iAfrica.tv. I am Fatoumatta Jarju. Bye for now. Fear over electoral rigging rocks Zimbabwe as the country.
Yesterday, after listening to Prime Minister May's assessment of the state of the negotiations,
jàmm wóor jàmm suñu réew Sénégal suñu gaal jàmm la ñuy ñaan man de jàmm lay wër jàmm wóor jàmm suñu réew Sénégal suñu gaal ñun dey jàmm la ñuy ñaan waay waay seytaane day ñëw ci kër indi fa histoire bu ñu bee bàyyi ñuy xuloo baa ñuy xeexoo yee xale yi Sénégal jàmm la ñuy ñaan ci réew mi lee seytaane day ñëw ci réew indi fa histoire bu ñu bee bàyyi ñuy xuloo baa ñuy xeexoo yee Mali Sénégal jàmm la ñuy ñaan waay waay mani bu ndaje yi amaate ba xel yi xuloo ma di yéen lu ñu war mooy jéem a juboo liggéey réew mi man dey sonn na jaxle na ci réew am réew mu dëkkee ay wudul fay metti na ma mani bu football amaate ba xale yi gagné yéen de équipe nationale coupe bi la ñuy xaar ci yéen ñi mani su lamb ji ubbee te ba mbëri bëre ba am ku gagné ñun dey lu ñuy xaar mooy ànd juboo liggéey seen réew ngalla bu foto yi jubee ba am ku gagné ba buur bi faloo waaw man ni ñun dey lu ñu war mooy jàppale ko liggéey réew mi man dey sonn na jaxle na ci réew am réew mu dëkkee keer bu dul fay metti na ma man mi de waru na jommi na ci réew am réew mu dëkkee keer bu dul fay metti na ma man yéen avant la guerre non violence waay man yéen tout pour la paix jàmm dafa neex man yéen nañu bañ a guerre dafa ñaawaay man yéen defar suñum réew liggéey Afrika seytaane day ñëw ci réew indi fa histoire bu ñu bee bàyyi ñuy xuloo baa ñuy xeexoo yéen Mali Sénégal jàmm la ñuy ñaan waay waay man yéen nañu bañ a guerre dafa ñaawaay man yéen defar suñum réew liggéey Afrika man dey jaxle na waru na ci réew am réew mu dëkkee ay wudul fay metti na ma gonay Sénégal bu ñu kenn fewale nañu màggoo liggéey suñum réew ñu kenn jaxase waru ñu nangu kenn ñu jéem a fewale nañu àndandoo defar suñu réew jàmm dafa neex loole ñun ñii bu ñu kenn jaxase waaw waaw waru ñu nangu kenn ñu jéem a fewale nañu àndandoo defar suñu réew jàmm dafa neex loole